Hello, good evening. Welcome to the first Student to Stemette webinar supported by Deutsche Bank as part of the Born to Be programme. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. We'll be talking about how to get the most from mentoring. My name is Andrew and I'm a coordinator for the Student to Stemette project. With us today we have Imafidon, Head Stemette, and Andrea Mason, who's joined us from Edit Development. There are three parts of the webinar and we'll be recording it for reference. And we plan to be finished by 6:50. You can ask questions in the same way that you've said hello this evening, in that bottom left-hand corner, and we'll try and answer them at the end. So let me introduce you to Anne-Marie, who's going to start us off.
Thank you, Andrew. So hi everyone. Some of you may know or heard before, I am Head Stemette on the Stemettes project, which we've been running for over a year now. And the Student to Stemette programme in particular is a stream that we're really excited about running. So the overall aims of Stemettes is to try to inspire females into STEM, being science, technology, engineering and maths. And on this scheme, we're aiming to ask females or get females like yourselves who are 16 and over to continue on in your studies of STEM and into your careers within STEM with a certain competence, with a certain network, and with a certain set of tools actually to be able to make sure that you have you enjoy your career that you're going to do in STEM, but also you have a really fulfilling career in STEM. So the programme that we're launching officially actually on Tuesday, Student to Stemette, is a mentoring scheme that has a number of parts to it. And again, all of this is gearing up to make sure that you guys are our future big Stemettes and are confident in your status as Stemettes. So the programme itself has two streams. We have some mentoring for about 40 of you, most of whom are going to be on the webinar today. And that will last 4 months, starting from next Tuesday, the weeks following that. And over those 4 months, you're going to be matched with a lady who has a STEM qualification or has been studying STEM, or has studied STEM even, the same way as you guys are. And you're going to have 4 months of interactions with her, of working with her through your career goals, your aspirations, but also the options that you have open to yourself in STEM, and also the careers and the options that we have across STEM. So that's the first part, and the second part of the scheme is going to be the webinars that we're running. So this is the first of 7 webinars that you'll be invited to attend, and you can tell your friends about these webinars. They're going to be completely open. We're going to record all of them. They're all going to touch on different topics, which we'll make public after this webinar. But all of those will be kind of an hour and a half, almost of tutorials or of learning for you on a particular part of your career development. So those are the two main parts to the Student to Stemette programme, and they take us from today right up until towards the end of December. The most exciting for myself and Andrew definitely, and hopefully for yourselves, part of the programme will be the trip that will be happening in October. So some of you that have heard the Stemette story before may have heard of the Grace Hopper Conference, or Celebration of Women in Computing, which happens in October every year in the States. It's actually the world's biggest gathering of women in computing and of women in STEM as well. And we'll be taking 5 of you from the mentoring pool out to the Grace Hopper Celebration of Women in Computing, which this year is happening in Phoenix between October 8th and October 11th. So we'll cover your board, we'll cover pretty much everything for you to be out there at the conference, soaking up the atmosphere, but also practicing some of the things that you've learned from your mentors and some of the things that you've learned from the webinars in a real life situation that just happens to be in Phoenix at Grace Hopper. So that's what the programme is about. That's what we're gearing up for. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's the first time we're running it, so we're going to have a lot of learning along the way. So don't bear with us. but do be very vocal. We've got the Twitter account up there, we've got the hashtag, you've got our email addresses as well. Do let us know if it's working for you, if it's not working for you, what you prefer to have, if there's any one that you want a particular connection to as well. Do let us know. This is a scheme that we're running for you, we're not running it for ourselves. We definitely want to be very open about what's going on. So in terms of the programme itself, we're going to go over the expectations and the requirements of the ideal mentee, which is what you guys are going to be, and talk through some of the qualities and maybe some of the do's and don'ts of how to succeed in the programme. In terms of the level of commitment expected, from our point of view, we do definitely want you to take it seriously as much as possible. The women that have signed up to be your mentors have done this out of their own volition, and they have identified with the heart of the Stemettes and what it's all about. They were all like you at some point, whether that's 16 or 15 or 17 or 18 or the rest of the numbers, studying STEM qualifications and trying to work out what they wanted to do. Some of them had a really good idea, some of them didn't, but all of them mostly will have studied STEM. And so what we expect from you guys is to at least spend the time to get to know them, to listen to them, and to take the advice from them, but also to act on it, and to prepare for your mentor meets when you do have mentor meets, to be flexible with meeting your mentors. Some of them have really crazy schedules, so do be understanding of what's if they do have to cancel last minute, we'll probably talk you through maybe the nice polite way of letting them know that also you might not have as much of a flexible calendar, but we'll also expect you to be in touch with them as much or fairly regularly. So you'll have to meet them at least once a month for the first 4 months, and you'll also need to attend a couple of real life networking events with them as well. So that's what we expect you to do, to make sure that you're available for those. There'll be benefits and there'll be rewards. A lot of the rewards will be career focused. We are connecting you with some fantastic women who are going to be devoting themselves to you as their mentors. And there is of course the opportunity for the trip, which if you fill out and do the exercises that we'll give you along the webinars and throughout the mentor meet, you'll increase your chances of being selected for the trip. After each mentor meet, we'll ask you to fill out a mentor meet evaluation form. And report that back into Andrew, where you can let us know and firstly let your mentor know how you think it's going, and your mentor will be doing the same thing. So do fill those in. Let's not let those run late. And we will also be providing you with a summary of programme policies, especially around those for privacy, communications, liability, and evaluation. So we'll make very clear next Tuesday exactly what the timelines will be on giving back your mentor meet evaluation forms, on communicating with your mentors, and also on privacy with a lot of what we're doing. So with some of these mentors, you will be getting some of their personal details. We want you to definitely be responsible with those and not also be rude on social media and all the rest of it, kind of to be sensible around that. We'll be outlining a lot of that on Tuesday. And so with that, I'd like to go into our first poll of the evening. Oh, not done the slides. Andrew's going to put this into the webinar for us. There we go. And we're trying to use these just to make sure that normally if we were physically in the meeting, anyone that's ever met me knows that I like audience participation. So this is the way to do it on the webinar. So you should have the poll on your screen. On your screen now. The first question, or the question that we're asking now, is what type of person do you think you'll look for to be your mentor? And you can start voting now. I don't have any countdown music. But yeah, go vote. Oh, this is nice. This is exciting. So what kind of qualities do you want in your mentor? Has everyone voted? No, not everyone's voted. Oh, quite exciting. Okay, keep voting. Nearly everyone has voted. 2 more of you left to vote. Don't think about it too much, though. We're not recording who's voting what, so you won't be judged on that. Okay, we'll stop it there. So we're going to explore. Oh, one more vote. Oh, does it show the results? Oh, it does. Okay, cool. Right. So from this poll, that worked pretty well, actually. Thanks, guys. For this role, from this poll, it seems that most of you are looking for a mentor that's going to be challenging, dynamic, efficient and conscientious, followed by enthusiastic, extrovert, confident and cooperative, and lastly creative, discerning, dedicated and strategic. And that's actually quite interesting in terms of to know the qualities that you're going to be looking for in your mentors. It's good that you've thought about this as well. And I'm actually impressed that most of you have chosen the challenging side of things as well, which we're going to be alluding to throughout the webinar. Before I pass over to Andrea, who's going to take over. And one thing I want you guys to note, and that we will be alluding to, is the difference between a mentor and a sponsor. And in some ways, sponsors, who are people that go kind of put their neck on the line and put their career on the line for you, go a little bit further than mentors, and often they are quite challenging, and they can be quite challenging. So mentors are there to challenge you, to put you in situations that you can handle that maybe you're not sure you can. So it's quite nice to see that almost instinctively you guys are looking for the right kind of qualities in your mentors and in your sponsors. And so without further ado, I'd like to pass over to Andrea, who's going to talk about making the most of your mentoring relationships.
Thanks for that, Anne-Marie. Hello all, my name is Andrea Mason. I work for an organisation called Edit Development, and we're a leadership development consultancy, and we work with lots of different groups around mentoring and mentees. And one thing that we've found is that it's really important that as a mentee you have almost a set of rules that you're able to live your life by as a mentee. In order to do that, what you will then find is that you will get the best out of the mentoring relationship. So there's a few things that you need to remember, and the first thing you need to remember is about the personal relationship that you develop with your mentor. So the first thing you need to think about is how you set up that relationship, and your mentor will, when you set that relationship and you've found your mentor, she or he will think about what that contract looks like. So when you enter into that contracting relationship with your mentor, one of the first things you need to think about is how you communicate to your mentor what your goals are and what it is that you want to get out of this relationship, where you want to take this relationship and what you want your end result to be. So before you enter into the mentor relationship, you need to put some thought into what you want this relationship to be and what you want your goals to be at the end of it. What's also really important is that what you're willing to do and you're able to do is that you're able to have an open and honest relationship. It's really important that the relationship you have with your mentor is one that's clear and one that is transparent, which is easy for me to say at this time of night. The communication between you and your mentor needs to be one that's open and honest, so that when you do have successes, you're able to share them with him or her. But more importantly, when you have your mentor meeting, that if there's an area that you're struggling with, or there's an area that you need additional support with, that you're able to sit and you're able to talk to them about it in a clear way. There's no point having a relationship with a mentor that is one that you're unable to communicate with them and you're unable to talk about issues. The mentor-mentee relationship won't work if the communication doesn't work between you. What's really important is that the relationship that you strike at the beginning is one that's built on trust. And if you find that the relationship isn't working, it's really important that you're, again, open and honest, and you have that conversation with them up front or an appropriate time, which is possibly within the first or second meeting, so that you find the most appropriate mentor for you to ensure that you're able to achieve the goals that you want to out of your mentor relationship. So again, to ensure that you establish the most positive personal relationship, it's really important that what you do is that you respond to opportunities. So as your mentor presents opportunities to you, or as your mentor suggests opportunities, it's really important that you respond to them. So it's really important that what you do is that you take the time and you take personal responsibility to ensure that you're responding to opportunities as they are presented to you. Now that can be difficult when you're managing busy lives, as we have, be that you're studying or that you're entering into your first career opportunity. But it's really important that what you do is that you ensure that you take the time and the effort and you manage your priorities to ensure that you respond to opportunities in a timely fashion. Again, that's about the clear communication that you have with your mentor to ensure that when you come out of your mentor sessions, that you're not coming away with too many tasks or too many activities, to ensure that when you then go into your next mentor session, you haven't been able to respond to those opportunities. So again, that's about ensuring that what you've got is manageable tasks. And more importantly, and then the next point is about doing your homework. So if you've been set tasks or you have things to do to ensure that you're able to achieve your goals, in order to ensure that you apply the right amount of respect to your mentor and also to yourself, it's about ensuring that you do the homework, that you put in the effort, that you put in the right amount of time to help you achieve your goals. Your mentor is generally doing this for you as a plus to their normal day job, as something to help support you in your achievement of your own goals and to help you achieve your own aspirations. There's nothing worse as a mentor going to a mentor-mentee meeting and finding out that the mentor hasn't been able to achieve the tasks or meet some of the opportunities that have been set up for you. So it's really important that, again, in terms of maintaining that positive personal relationship with your mentor, that you've put in the time and effort and done all the tasks that have been set for you in those relationship meetings. So in terms of taking opportunities, your mentor will hopefully set up some meetings for you with people. If that's the case, then please follow through with that. These people are there to help you. Anne-Marie just talked about sponsorship. It's really important that, as well as having the right mentor, that what the people that you've got around you are your sponsors as well. So what is a sponsor? A sponsor is someone who's wearing a T-shirt with your name on. So someone who is sat in a room or in a meeting or in the workplace, who, when you're not there, will pipe up and say, Andrea's great for that particular task, or Andrea's great for that particular role. I think she'd be great for that particular project. That's when you're not there. That's when your mentor's not there. So if you are presented again with an opportunity of finding a correct sponsor, then that's about making sure that you set up those meetings. That's about going for a coffee. That's about having a stakeholder meeting. That's about just having that quick chat with someone around the, you always talk about the coffee machines and about the water coolers, but they can sometimes be the most appropriate conversations to have with people. Training. Never lose an opportunity to take up some additional training. If you're presented with an opportunity to do some additional training, then please take it. It all helps in terms of helping you achieve your goals. Researching around topics, again, it's the same thing. If you find an opportunity to sit and do some reading, be that on the tube, be that in the car, be that you get half an hour at night, then please, Twitter is the thing these days in terms of training. It's a whole new learning curve for me, dare I say it, under the circumstances, but I won't tell you the things I've learned today. Then make sure you've got all these things set up on your phones, on your laptops, on your iPhones, on your iPads. This is a great way of upskilling yourself and just getting those little bits of nuggets of information so that when you're having a conversation with someone, it makes you more knowledgeable. It makes you appear far more credible, or not far more credible, but it makes you more credible. So again, from a sponsorship perspective, it means that people feel far more confident in terms of putting you forward for, be that for a project or making a recommendation about you. All this then puts you in a great positive place in terms of when you're then going for an interview, puts you in a great place of confidence so that when you're completing application forms, you've got information to put on application forms. And finally, my final point is around it takes more than two to tango. There's a whole community that sits around a mentor, and your mentor, as long as you've got the right relationship with your mentor, will be more than willing to introduce you to that community that sits around the mentor. But your mentor will only do that as long as you put in the time and the effort yourself. As I said to you before, there is nothing worse in the mentor-mentee relationship when the mentee doesn't put the time and effort in. This is your relationship. These are your goals and these are your aspirations. The mentor isn't there to do it for you. The mentor is there to support you. The mentor is there to give you some guidance and to give you some advice and to give you some tips, and they will do everything they possibly can to give you as much help as they can, and they will make some great introductions to some great people. But they will only do that if you put in the time and effort, as I've already said. Your mentor will share as much experience with you as they possibly can, but equally what they will ask back from you is that you share that experience with other mentees and mentors. This is as much about you being a sponsor of your mentor as it is about other people being a sponsor of you. So please share the experience that you're having of the mentee program and of being a mentee and of the great experience that you're having of your mentor. So now it's about time that we move on to what's in it for me, which I'm going to pass back to Anne-Marie.
Great. Thank you very much, Andrea. And I'm definitely looking out for that T-shirt.
Good.
With my name on it. Okay.
Wearing it now.
Okay, so what's in it for you, or what's in it for me? So there are kind of two big things, or two main big reasons why what's going to be in it in student Stemette, or what's going to be in the mentoring relationship for you. The first one is personal development. So really use it as an opportunity for you to reflect on your skills, reflect on your strengths, and also reflect on your weaknesses. And be able to try to explore that with your mentor and with your mentee. That's going to be the first, or it's going to be the discussion point that we're giving all of you for your first meeting, and a look at yourself, at your own life, and about the industry skills maybe that you already have, but also about other attributes about yourself. So maybe your own confidence. What is it that you are confident to do, or what you are currently confident to do? What is it that you're less confident to do, and maybe why? We want to explore a little bit about that. You also want to explore your motivation. So each of you, when we ask you to fill out the forms, and if you haven't done so, do head onto the website to fill in that form. But we've asked each of you as well what you're motivated. We've asked each of you to put down your goals and what it is that you want from this mentoring relationship, and also what you want from life. We definitely want you to unpack the motivations behind that. And this is something that, for those of you that have been to panel events before, it's very clear to see from the different women that are there. Sometimes they'll say, you know, they really enjoy their job because they get to change lives. Others really enjoy their job because they find it really creative. Others enjoy their jobs because they like problem solving, and normally I'm the person that said that. But everybody's got their own motivations of what they enjoy and why they do what they do. So it'd be really important for you as part of your mentoring relationship to figure that out, and that's going to be something that is going to be a strength for you and is going to help you yourself within your personal development and also within your career. So it's definitely something for you. That's definitely something that's in it for you, and it will give you a clarity of purpose. So personal development is the first thing that's in it for you. The second thing is going to be industry knowledge. So a lot of these women, as Andrea's just been saying, have communities around them. A lot of them have communities within the industry that they're in now, and there'll be quite a lot of them as well who have communities outside of their industry. So an example would be, we've got Kim Hammonds actually speaking at the event on Tuesday, and she's the current CIO at Deutsche Bank. And CIO being Chief Information Officer, she looks after everyone that does any kind of technology, so that be it development, be it project management, all of those kind of roles at Deutsche Bank. But she herself actually worked at General Motors, when she came out of university. So she's made the switch, but she has industry knowledge of engineering. She has industry knowledge of technology, and also has industry knowledge of banking. So what's going to be in it for you is going to be being able to tap into your mentors and your mentor communities. Sorry, she was at Ford, not General Motors, and tap into your mentor's community to have a better understanding of the industry, of the people that are within different industries, and also the organisations that are at play. And so that's going to be something for you to get out of your mentor, or something that's what's in it for you in terms of industry knowledge. Also, there'll be careers as journeys, and this is something that, again, we've seen in the feedback from those of you, particularly 16 and over, who have come along to our panel event so far, hearing about people's journeys and about the different steps that they've taken. It's going to be really important, definitely coming out of this, for you guys to understand that careers there's not really such a thing as a career ladder. Careers are journeys, careers are paths. It's not just kind of climb up the ranks or climb up the rungs. Normally people have gone this way a bit, taken a diagonal move, taken a lateral move, taken a move sideways, taken a move, you know, in all kinds of directions. Sometimes they even have circular moves we've seen before. And it would be good for you to understand that and understand how the industry responds to that and what that looks like in the different industries that you're already interested in. The last thing within industry knowledge that is going to be in it for you, in the mentoring relationship for you, is also the challenges to foresee and overcome. So it's not all plain sailing. You do all have down days. That's not going to go away. But it would be great for you to be able to hear about the down days that your mentor and your mentor community is having, so you kind of are aware that, you know, sometimes computers don't work. And we all know that now, but imagine if this is the computers for the entire company and the company is losing $500,000, you know, dollars per minute. Understanding that there are those challenges, whether they're personal challenges around, you know, having responsibilities out of work, whether it's personal challenges around, you know, just difficulties within the workplace. It's going to be really great for you to hear about some of those, hear how women have overcome them, and to see that really there's nothing that's going to hit you that's going to be insurmountable. And that's something that, you know, even for those of us that are further along in our careers, sometimes we do hit roadblocks, and it's good to know, almost have like a Sherpa or someone that's been there, done that, to kind of tell you that, don't worry, it's going to be okay. You are going to hit this wall, and you might come off with a couple of bruises, but at least you're not going to die in hitting that wall. So do no good. Apologies. Right, so we've got a bit of an activity for you now. Andrew, do you want to do this? Shall I do this? An interactive activity. You want to do it? No, oh, okay, sorry. So what I'd like you to do now is write down your own goals at the moment. So some of you will have done this on your initial form. You're probably a different person from when you did fill out that form. So if you could write down your own goals, your own career goals at the moment, also your own goals that you are looking to get from the mentoring relationship that you're about to enter in. Some of you might want to tweak them. If you want, that's fine. It might be personal goals. If you don't want to share them, that's okay. But do write them down somewhere that you will be able to find them and refer back to them at the end of the scheme. So I'll give you a couple of minutes now to write down what you think your goals are going to be, or what your goals are. Okay, so you don't have to share your goals, and we'll look at them just to see if there's any of them. The nice thing about sharing goals is that others can maybe hold you accountable, but also once you put them out there, it means it's easier for others to help you out with making them happen, and we're not telepathic. You do need to communicate, and it's something you'll learn from your mentors. Before we go on to the next part of the webinar, I wondered if there are any questions that anybody had. Remember, we've got the chat in the bottom left-hand corner. So if there's any questions that you want to ask about what we've covered in the webinar thus far, now's a time for you to ask those questions. If you don't want to send it to everyone, there's a little down arrow on the right-hand side, and you can just send it to presenters, which is who we are. Or, yeah, send it to presenters, and we'll pick up the questions. I'll give it a couple more seconds, just in case you don't have questions. If you do, maybe type Q before you start typing your questions so we know you've got one. No. Okay. All right, so in that case, we're going to go on to next steps from Andrew.
Well, I've been fascinated to listen to what both Marie and Andrea have been saying, and it's been good that you've been all keeping in touch via email and on the tweet, so thank you very much for doing that. I want just to be clear, all our mentors currently are women, so when we go to the launch event on the Tuesday, they are all women at the moment, so they'll be matching with those. And also, Anne-Marie mentioned about filling in the form that tells us a little bit more about you and your aspirations on the website. So you can find that at stemettes.org STS, stemettes.org/STS, and on there you'll see replaceable mentees and replaceable mentors, and if you click on mentees, there's a form there just to let us know a little bit more about what it is that you have as aspirations. So we haven't had any questions that have come up, but we will be letting everybody have a copy of this recording, and that will be there with all the recordings of all the webinars as we go forward. So thank you very much to Andrea for joining us this afternoon.
You're welcome.
And thank you very much to Anne-Marie as well. I wanted to ask you, Andrea, just before we go, just a question listening to what you were saying about being open,
yes,
but also about prioritising, because you were saying about making sure that you take on enough or let your mentor know. Could you just expand a little bit more on that?
Yeah, I think it's really important that when you are in your mentor-mentee meetings, that you are realistic around the amount that you take away from that meeting. It's obviously that we all have busy lives, and we all have things that are going on in our daily lives, and sometimes we can be very enthusiastic about the amount of things that we want to achieve between one mentor-mentee meeting and the next. And I think it's really important that we're realistic about what it is that we want to achieve. And sometimes, be that the mentor or the mentee can sort of almost want to overachieve between those two meetings. So sometimes you just need to sort of be realistic about what it is that you want to achieve, and then prioritise those tasks and those actions and those activities alongside sort of daily life, be that what you're studying or what you're doing at work, if you're sort of in the workplace at that particular moment in time. So just be realistic, make sure that the actions that have been set, or the actions that you've set yourself, are smart, and that they're specific, that they're measurable, that they're actually achievable, that they're relevant, and that they're particularly timely. If they're not, what then tends to happen is that a wheel will drop off at some point, and you will start to feel that you're not achieving, be that you're not achieving in your studies, you're not achieving at work, or you're then not being able to achieve your particular goals around the mentor-mentee relationship. So it's really important that you're able to prioritise in terms of what it is that you actually want out of those particular mentor-mentee meetings.
Keep it smart and be open at all times as much as you can.
Absolutely.
It's a good starting point.
Absolutely.
That's great. Well, just to finish off from me, please come on Tuesday with lots of energy and an inquiring mind. I think this evening has definitely set us on that course. And we've had a couple of questions about what to wear, so it's quite a practical thing. We think to be comfortable and smart. If we just sort of do a combo, that would be great. So I'm going to hand you back to Anne-Marie to finish off.
We've got a question. To find the form to fill out again on the STS, do we have to fill out the application? So a question we've had, to find the form to fill out again on the STS website, do we need to fill out the application again? So if you've already filled it in once, don't fill it out a second time. It's just some of you that have signed up or maybe heard about this webinar may not have filled that form the first time round. So fill it once. If you feel like maybe your answers have changed, feel free to fill it in again, and we'll notice the names are the same, and we'll just combine the replies and the responses. Great. Any other questions? No, this is brilliant. We're running ahead of time. So thank you very much for joining us, girls. Thank you very much for signing in and for joining on the webinar. And congratulations on joining the Student to Stemette programme. This is, fingers crossed, this is going to change your life. And we'll see you as big Stemettes on the other side. Good evening.